Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Fail utterly, collapse. The project foundered. Inflammation of the laminated tissue that attaches the hoof to the foot of a horse. Break down, literally or metaphorically. A person who founds or establishes some institution. A worker who makes metal castings. Sink below the surface. Stumble and nearly fall. The horses foundered. Fail utterly, collapse. Fail utterly, collapse. Exactly. He fell flop on his face. Fail utterly, collapse. Someone who is unsuccessful. A complete failure. The play was a dismal flop. The act of throwing yourself down. He landed on the bed with a great flop. An arithmetic operation performed on floating point numbers. This computer can perform 1,000,000 flops per second. Fall loosely. He flopped into a chair. Fall suddenly and abruptly. Inflammation of the laminated tissue that attaches the hoof to the foot of a horse. Tennis. A score consisting of winning a game when your opponent was serving. He was up 2 breaks in the second set. Breaking of hard tissue such as bone. The break seems to have been caused by a fall. Enter someone's virtual or real property in an unauthorized manner, usually with the intent to steal or commit a violent act. Be released or become known of news. Fail to agree with, be in violation of, as of rules or patterns. An act of delaying or interrupting the continuity. It was presented without commercial breaks. Lessen in force or effect. Break a fall. An escape from jail. The breakout was carefully planned. Interrupt a continued activity. Force out or release suddenly and often violently something pent up. Break into tears. Any frame in which a bowler fails to make a strike or spare. The break in the 8th frame cost him the match. Go to pieces. Ruin completely. Act in disregard of laws, rules, contracts, or promises. Break a law. Become fractured. Break or crack on the surface only. Do a break dance. Kids were break dancing at the street corner. Prevent completion. Break off the negotiations. Become separated into pieces or fragments. Make known to the public information that was previously known only to a few people or that was meant to be kept a secret. Terminate. Break a lucky streak. Surpass in excellence. Break a record. Discontinue an association or relation. Go different ways. The act of breaking something. The breakage was unavoidable. Happen. Break down, literally or metaphorically. A pause from doing something, as work. We took a 10-minute break. Stop operating or functioning. Fracture a bone of. Reduce to bankruptcy. My daughter's fancy wedding is going to break me. Assign to a lower position. Reduce in rank. Geology. A crack in the Earth's crust resulting from the displacement of one side with respect to the other. Break a piece from a hole. Break a branch from a tree. Make submissive, obedient, or useful. The horse was tough to break. A time interval during which there is a temporary cessation of something. Move away or escape suddenly. Nobody can break out. This prison is high security. A personal or social separation, as between opposing factions. They hoped to avoid a break in relations. Some abrupt occurrence that interrupts an ongoing activity. There was a break in the action when a player was hurt. Destroy the completeness of a set of related items. The book dealer would not break the set. Cease an action temporarily. Let's break for lunch. An unexpected piece of good luck. He finally got his big break. An abrupt change in the tone or register of the voice, as at puberty or due to emotion. Then there was a break in her voice. A sudden dash. He made a break for the open door. Be broken in. If the new teacher won't break, we'll add some stress. Become punctured or penetrated. Cause the failure or ruin of. This play will either make or break the playwright. Cause to give up a habit. Change directions suddenly. Change suddenly from one tone quality or register to another. Come forth or begin from a state of latency. Come into being. Come to an end. Crack. Of the male voice in puberty. His voice is breaking, he should no longer sing in the choir. Curl over and fall apart in surf or foam, of waves. Destroy the integrity of, usually by force, cause to separate into pieces or fragments. Diminish or discontinue abruptly. Emerge from the surface of a body of water. Exchange for smaller units of money. I had to break a $100 bill just to buy the candy. Fall sharply. Find a flaw in. Break an alibi. Find the solution or key to. Break the code. Give up. Break cigarette smoking. Happen or take place. Things have been breaking pretty well for us in the past few months. Interrupt the flow of current in. Break a circuit. Invalidate by judicial action. Make a rupture in the ranks of the enemy or one's own by quitting or fleeing. Make the opening shot that scatters the balls. Pierce or penetrate. Render inoperable or ineffective. Scatter or part. Separate from a clinch, in boxing. The occurrence of breaking. The break in the dam threatened the valley. The opening shot that scatters the balls in billiards or pool. Undergo breaking. Vary or interrupt a uniformity or continuity. Weaken or destroy in spirit or body. Break down, literally or metaphorically. The sudden collapse of something into a hollow beneath it. Suffer a nervous breakdown. The act of throwing yourself down. Break down, literally or metaphorically. The wall collapsed. An abrupt failure of function or complete physical exhaustion. A sudden large decline of business or the prices of stocks, especially one that causes additional failures. Cause to burst. Collapse due to fatigue, an illness, or a sudden attack. Fall apart. A natural event caused by something suddenly falling down or caving in. The roof is in danger of collapse. Fold or close up. Collapse the music stand. Lose significance, effectiveness, or value. The stock market collapsed. Become part of. Become a member of a group or organization. Break down, literally or metaphorically. Be the cause or source of. Give entirely to a specific person, activity, or cause. Give one's talents to a good cause. The elasticity of something that can be stretched and returns to its original length. Transmit, knowledge or skills. Give a secret to the Russians. Move in order to make room for someone for something. Bestow. Give homage. Give food to. Don't give the child this tough meat. Give or supply. Convey or communicate. Of a smile, a look, a physical gesture. Be flexible under stress of physical force. This material doesn't give. Contribute to some cause. Bestow, especially officially. Give a divorce. Dedicate. Give thought to. Break down, literally or metaphorically. Place into the hands or custody of. Organize or be responsible for. Give a course. Bring about. Convey, as of a compliment, regards, attention, etc., bestow. Give the orders. Afford access to. The French doors give onto a terrace. Give or convey physically. Give as a present. Make a gift of. What will you give her for her birthday? Endure the loss of. Cause to happen or be responsible for. Accord by verdict. Give a decision for the plaintiff. Allow to have or take. I give you 2 minutes to respond. Cause to have, in the abstract sense or physical sense. Consent to engage in sexual intercourse with a man. Convey or reveal information. Deliver in exchange or recompense. I'll give you 3 books for 4 CDs. Emit or utter. Give a yelp. Estimate the duration or outcome of something. Execute and deliver. Give, as medicine. Guide or direct, as by behavior of persuasion. Inflict as a punishment. Leave with. Give temporarily. Can I give you my keys while I go in the pool? Manifest or show. This student gives promise of real creativity. Occur. What gives? Offer in good faith. Perform for an audience. Present to view. Proffer, a body part. Propose. Submit for consideration, judgment, or use. Give one's opinion. Transfer possession of something concrete or abstract to somebody. Can you give me lessons? End resistance, as under pressure or force. Move in order to make room for someone for something. Break down, literally or metaphorically. Stop operating or functioning. Someone new to a field or activity. A person who founds or establishes some institution. Father is a term of address for priests in some churches, especially the Roman Catholic Church or the Orthodox Catholic Church. Padre is frequently used in the military. A male parent, also used as a term of address to your father. His father was born in Atlanta. Christianity. Any of about 70 theologians in the period from the 2nd to the 7th century whose writing established and confirmed official church doctrine. In the Roman Catholic Church, some were later declared saints and became doctor of the Church. The best-known Latin Church Fathers are Ambrose, Augustine, Gregory the Great, and Jerome. Those who wrote in Greek include Athanasius, Basil, Gregory Nazianzen, and John Chrysostom. The founder of a family. Keep the faith of our forefathers. Make offspring by reproduction. John fathered 4 daughters. The head of an organized crime family. God when considered as the first person in the Trinity. A person who founds or establishes some institution. George Washington is the father of his country. A person who holds an important or distinguished position in some organization. The tennis fathers ruled in her favor. A person who founds or establishes some institution. A member of the Constitutional Convention that drafted the United States Constitution in 1787. Be unsuccessful. Disappoint, prove undependable to, abandon, forsake. His sense of smell failed him this time. Be unsuccessful. Where do today's public schools fail? Fail to do something, leave something undone. She failed to notice that her child was no longer in his crib. Stop operating or functioning. The engine failed on the way to town. Prove insufficient. The water supply for the town failed after a long drought. Fail to get a passing grade. She studied hard but failed nevertheless. Fall short in what is expected. She failed in her obligations as a good daughter-in-law. Get worse. Judge unacceptable. The teacher failed 6 students. Be unable. I fail to understand your motives. Become bankrupt or insolvent. Fail financially and close. A number of banks failed that year. Be unsuccessful. Suffer a miscarriage. A response of body tissues to injury or irritation, characterized by pain and swelling and redness and heat. Red color or pigment. The chromatic color resembling the hue of blood. A response of body tissues to injury or irritation, characterized by pain and swelling and redness and heat. The state of being emotionally aroused and worked up. He tried to calm those who were in a state of extreme inflammation. Arousal to violent emotion. A response of body tissues to injury or irritation, characterized by pain and swelling and redness and heat. The act of setting something on fire. Lay aside, abandon, or leave for another. The car changed lanes. Cause to change, make different, cause a transformation. The discussion has changed my thinking about the issue. Exchange or replace with another, usually of the same kind or category. He changed his name. An event that occurs when something passes from one state or phase to another. The change was intended to increase sales. Become different in some particular way, without permanently losing one's or its former characteristics or essence. Her mood changes in accordance with the weather. Give to, and receive from, one another. Would you change places with me? Become deeper in tone. His voice began to change when he was 12 years old. Change from one vehicle or transportation line to another. She changed in Chicago on her way to the East Coast. A difference that is usually pleasant. It is a refreshing change to meet a woman mechanic. A different or fresh set of clothes. She brought a change in her overnight bag. A relational difference between states, especially between states before and after some event. He attributed the change to their marriage. A thing that is different. He inspected several changes before selecting one. Change clothes. Put on different clothes. Coins of small denomination regarded collectively. He had a pocketful of change. Money received in return for its equivalent in a larger denomination or a different currency. He got change for a 20 and used it to pay the taxi driver. Remove or replace the coverings of. Father had to learn how to change the baby. The action of changing something. The change of government had no impact on the economy. The balance of money received when the amount you tender is greater than the amount due. I paid with a 20 and pocketed the change. The result of alteration or modification. There were marked changes in the lining of the lungs. Undergo a change. Become different in essence, losing one's or its original nature. She changed completely as she grew older. Someone who creates new things. Plan and direct, a complex undertaking. He masterminded the robbery. Someone who creates new things. Someone who has exceptional intellectual ability and originality. Someone who creates new things. A worker who has acquired special skills. A worker who has acquired special skills. A worker who has acquired special skills. Move downward and lower, but not necessarily all the way. Disappear beyond the horizon. Go under. Stop operating. Grow smaller. Be defeated. If America goes down, the free world will go down, too. Disappear beyond the horizon. Go under. Be called. Go by a certain name. Come to terms. Settle into a position, usually on a surface or ground. Dust settled on the roofs. Bring to an end. Settle conclusively. Become settled or established and stable in one's residence or lifestyle. He finally settled down. Come as if by falling. Get one's revenge for a wrong or an injury. I finally settled with my old enemy. Go under. Make final. Put the last touches on, put into final form. Take up residence and become established. The immigrants settled in the Midwest. Sink down or precipitate. Settle conclusively. Come to terms. We finally settled the argument. A long wooden bench with a back. Fix firmly. Accept despite lack of complete satisfaction. We settled for a lower price. Arrange or fix in the desired order. She settled the tea cart. Become clear by the sinking of particles. The liquid gradually settled. Become resolved, fixed, established, or quiet. The roar settled to a thunder. Cause to become clear by forming a sediment of liquids. Come to rest. Dispose of. Make a financial settlement. End a legal dispute by arriving at a settlement. The two parties finally settled. Establish or develop as a residence. He settled the farm 200 years ago. Form a community. The Swedes settled in Minnesota. Fall heavily or suddenly. Decline markedly. Appear to move downward. A depression in the ground communicating with a subterranean passage, especially in limestone, and formed by solution or by collapse of a cavern roof. Fall or descend to a lower place or level. A covered cistern. Wastewater and sewage flow into it. Go under. Pass into a specified state or condition. Fall or sink heavily. Embed deeply. Descend into or as if into some soft substance or place. Cause to sink. Plumbing fixture consisting of a water basin fixed to a wall or floor and having a drain pipe. Technology. A process that acts to absorb or remove energy or a substance from a system. The ocean as a sink for carbon dioxide.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.